Kenya is undergoing 3 days of mourning after that tragic helicopter crash that killed 6 people over the weekend, including a internal security minister and his assistant. Did that permeate into the market?
Well, it's a doomsday in Nairobi. Of course, it's part of the 3 days of mourning that the president declared, and that will effectively be running up to Wednesday. But that said, I think the market did not respond in any way because it was considered to be an accident, and that will not affect the market fundamentally.
Because the market actually picked up almost 18 points today, the NSE 20 share index. What was driving this activity?
Yes, it did. And of course, it's expected to continue to rally in the week, notwithstanding what happened.
What were some of the key stock picks for you out of today's activity?
Yeah, well, I would say number one would be Longhorn. It's interesting to see that it's improving day by day, increasing, because it's the kind of stock that you would expect. It came in by introduction, and so it's low on supply, and the demand is high, so you expect it to go high. But beyond that, there are stocks that the investors are expecting that the media results would be good, and so they picked up really good, like the Express Limited.
Some people who watch this market saying profit taking is exerting pressure on the market. Who's buying, who's selling these days?
The investors, of course. There has been considerable foreign participation in counters like Safaricom and KCB, but that has not locked out local investors who've participated very actively in the stock market. You would expect at this time, especially when results are expected and there's anticipation in the market, that speculators will play a key role as opposed to long-term investors, and that is appearing to be the case, because there are stocks that you would say still have an opportunity to go up, like the agriculturals, but you see Williamson Tea and Kapchorwa were affected today, and they recorded lower sales, or they went down.
CFC Stanbic, the bank going into South Sudan, the third Kenyan financial institution to do so, there appears to be lots of opportunity there. How do investors respond to news like this?
Well, obviously, I mean, with the banking industry, the bigger you are, the merrier it is. And going into South Sudan simply means that they want to add more value to their shareholders. South Sudan is not overbanked. In fact, it probably could be described as underbanked. And so CFC Stanbic sees an opportunity and goes on and grabs it. As for the investor in the bank, it's a good opportunity because it would mean more returns for his money.
One of the things that everybody will be watching very keenly today, the ICC starters hearings, The Hague deciding that trials against 4 prominent Kenyans will be held in March. Does that certainty about a date make it any better in terms of investor certainty?
Yes, it does. I mean, a date in March is beautiful. It means that for those of us who are worried about political risk in Kenya, then we have until March to make money in the country. That means that there will be performance, or there will be participation from foreign investors, even local investors, up until March, when the anxiety will start to rise again. It's around the same time when the elections are expected. So it's an interesting mix.
Because that is the concern right now. If the elections are also in March, that might mean that the political noises that Kenyans are already hearing might keep going until March.
Yes, I mean, it would seem like the principals, the president and the prime minister and the electoral commission have all decided that the election is in March, courtesy of a court ruling. And so, irrespective of what others say, that seems to be more and more reality. Now, that an election date in March and an ICC hearing date in March is definitely not a good thing for the country. But then again, it looks like no one is willing to give ground to the other, neither the ICC nor IEBC.
I want to hear this from all the market watchers we're having on the budget this Thursday. 1.52 trillion shillings is unprecedented. What do you expect from Njeru Githai?
Well, nothing out of the ordinary. The problem with the Kenyan budget is usually there are very, very beautiful plans on paper. When it comes to implementation, the bureaucracies make it not to work out, so that there are a lot of money being pumped into the system, creates an economic constipation, and that effectively translates into inflation at some point. So 1.5 trillion sounds okay, but there are two problems. One is implementation. The system cannot swallow it within a year as it should. And number two is the major issue, which has been our budgets are more consumer oriented, and there's no considerable amount of investment to correct the balance of payment or to at least improve the agricultural needs of the country.
I think, William, I'm going to disagree with you. There are three problems. The third is that the budget speeches are too long. Maybe a PowerPoint might do, don't you think?
I appreciate that, Larry. Thank you.
Many thanks, William Odhiambo, Managing Consultant at Elim Consulting, with us in Nairobi.